what I'm saying? And that's just because of that. But people with the self-transferring mind on that level, they don't play that shit. They want it. They want all the smoke. They embrace the smoke, and they look for the smoke. Now let's keep going. Right? That's why I says it. They realize that their behavior can have a big effect upstream, whether people decide to approach the door. And it's like, why do they get this information at their door so often? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Now, it says, others are not left guessing whether to send potentially off-mission communication they judge to be important. Now, the idea of them judging it to be important means that I might want to tell you something that I believe will help you. I judge this as important information. I want to tell you something. Yo, bro, when you did this and when you said that, blah, 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 blah. I judge the information to be important. Right? Now, if a person has that information that they judge to be important, but they believe there might be some potentially off-mission communication, meaning you might reject it, you don't like it, you deny information, you're closed-minded, they are left guessing whether to send it in the first place. So that's why I read this sentence backwards to make you understand it, but that's just how it is. That's what it means, though. And then the last sentence of the paper or this article is, they send it because people with self-transferring minds have found ways to let them know such information will be welcomed, not accepted. Not that I'm gonna listen to you and change. Not that I'm gonna listen to you and just become how you telling me to act. But I give you this sense that your information is welcomed, regardless of if you think I'm gonna change or not, or I'm gonna do it or whatever. You at least know that I welcome it, so that I'm never gonna miss out on anything, on any system or design. Now, chat, that is the 3 levels of mental complexity. That is the whole shit. That's my own words. That's what I'm saying. Me trying to explain it and make it make sense to y'all. That is 2 pages from something called Immunity to Change. That is only 2 pages of that. I believe it was written by like Harvard professors. They did some research and shit like that. But I personally wrote a 33-page paper on like that in relation to this allegory of the cave, in relation to ethics, and a whole bunch of other shit that I learned, and I put it all together in relation to enlightenment, spirituality. 33 pages, single spaced on that shit. That's why that's why I'm not just I don't even need the excerpt or the title to explain that shit. It just makes it easier because when I go to the definition directly and cite my source when I'm talking about something, that I can take what they're trying to say and give it in your own words in a way that y'all can understand it. Because not everybody's going to be able to read that and just like, oh, I get it. There's some dense information. Or that not everybody, and coming from, you know what I'm saying, like the 3rd level, the self-transferring mind of mental complexity, I can better explain that 3rd level. I can better explain the smaller levels, because another thing about the 3rd level is that it has the awareness and consciousness to understand how it used to think and why it was so flawed. It's why I told y'all that it can even get personal, where I could tell y'all my process of this shit and my, I'm coming with this shit, and when I started to change and realize this shit. Name of the book, you can't get that book, you can get the article that I read that certain page from. That book is a textbook I had from one of my ethics courses. So it's a textbook specifically for that course. That was just one nigga, that was just 2 pages in that shit. That was just literally 2 pages, bro. Bro, shit gets deep. Chat, I could literally have a stream like this every day. I swear to God. I swear to, like, dating advice and women nature and getting girls. I told you I had that shit figured out by the time I was like 16 or 17. That shit is basic to me. I do that shit like with my eyes closed. This type of shit, or anything I read in other books, and I would much rather talk about that shit. And I told y'all, the whole dojo, the whole taekwondo, this whole blowing up thing, I kind of sort of tricked y'all into fucking with the community based for the women. It's not even about the women to me. It's about self-growth, improvement, enlightenment, self-awareness, all these it's not even about the women. You have been fooled. All that shit, I don't even think about limps if I'm not reacting to something. I don't worry about this shit. It's so much shit that I do throughout the day and worry about throughout the day that I don't even worry about none of that shit, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, but it's just that I'm not even like to toot my own horn. I think I just want to end the vibe, and if we talk about stuff after this, it'll be whatever.
Welcome to a moment of calmness from one a day. That's right, a calming moment.
I have a video that's about to be an in-depth conversation, lesson, guide, whatever you want to call it, on how to control your emotions. Why you should control your emotions. And we're going to be working on and developing and having a conversation. Conversation because I'm going to be making it very relational while I speak. I'm not trying to make this like a lesson in school.
All-time high is not
as you see, I have this, which I put together myself. Sure. Don't judge the art skills. Just understand that by the end of this video, you will understand everything that you see. All this will make sense, and you will be able to, work on your emotional control better. Whether that is how you react to situations, being able to think more clearly when you're dealing with a situation or a circumstance, or talking to people.
Gold is not
or it might not just be anger issues, chat. Like I said,
it's really not.
A lot of us have trained responses.
It's way different from you are.
Just naturally, psychologically. And the only way around that
is already went off of this.
Consciously intentional.
And
like I said, big words, ooh, fancy schmancy. All this is going to be very simple. All this is going to be very direct and understood.
I'm going to hop on
the video. Like I said, I did this live on Twitch first. As y'all know, we got my socials at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to get into it. So let's start off. Let's get right into it, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments you have any questions you have in the comments. You can also catch me on Patreon for one-on-one coaching and things like that. All right, so chat, let's begin.
What was that?
So this video is all about, self-mastery. It's in connection to self-mastery video. And building that relationship with yourself. So before we even get into what you're seeing on the board, what you have to understand is that over time, right, it could be day to day, every day going by, days lead to weeks, weeks lead to months, months lead to years, and you're taking a lot of wear and tear, not just physically, but mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and all of the above. And a lot of people struggle having a clear state of mind, being at peace, being at peace and being able to move in life with some sort of clarity, some sort of poise, some direct guidance from themselves, no matter what it is that they're doing. You may walk around being angry. You may walk around being sad. You may walk around feeling guilt. You may walk around feeling insecure. Whatever that emotion is. But we're going to get into emotional control, why you should control it, and all of those things. So I'm going to get into why you want to control it first. You want to control it because, and this is just the blunt, utmost truth. I know y'all see a lot of dating content, reaction videos, whatever on my channel. This advice is going to be for just everyone, period. In life, if someone, and if you're not new here, you're going to know, you already know what I'm going to say. In life, you are at the lowest level of any pyramid. If someone can press a button in your mind and get a reaction, if someone can control you emotionally, whether you're a man or a woman, you are at the lowest form of a puppet. And I'm not talking about a conspiracy theory. I'm just talking about the simple fact that I can get you to do what I want you to do because you respond through your emotions. Now, what you'll see is we're not getting rid of our emotions. We are becoming in tune with them, in control of them, consciously intentional. We're going to get to that later, but I'm not even going to explain how to do these things yet unless you understand the significance, why it's important. And if you're going to do anything in life, no matter how big or how small it is, If you cannot handle or control your emotions, frustration, anger, sadness, guilt, whatever the case may be, you will suffer to your competition, you will suffer to yourself, and you will be at the bottom of the pyramid. You won't be able to survive. You just won't be where you want to be in your life, because the amount of critical thinking and the amount of strategic militant movement that you could have with controlling your emotions and thinking clearly and at a peace of mind, you'll never be able to have. And you get a lot done. You'll be able to think more objectively and subjectively, all interchangeably. See, because of my emotional control, I not only can see it from my side, assess how I would feel and how it would make the other person feel, why they would feel like that, and why I would want them to feel like that, and then go about my choice in that case. And what that allows me to do is, in any given circumstance or situation I'm in, I have majority, I'll say majority because it's not an absolute, I have majority of control of the outcome and getting the desired outcome, no matter what it is, because I will persevere. I will prevail. I will figure it out. Because I have a holistic way of thinking. I'm not just thinking logically. I see and understand my emotions. I'm not just thinking emotionally. I see and understand them logically. See, we're working on aligning ourselves, being holistic, not just being one-sided or one way. Because if you are one-sided and you have a one-way of thinking, you're done. You'll do good for a while, but you're done. You'll never make it to the top of anything. You never will. You never will. And the reason I say that is because you will not be able to check yourself. Listen, all of this at the end of the day is about the relationship that you have with yourself and what you can get yourself to do, how you can get yourself to change and grow and get through things or work towards things in life. And if your relationship with yourself is damaged, which it most likely is, because life happens to everybody. I'm human as well. If your relationship with yourself is severely damaged or is not built or connected at all, you will build that relationship with something. It could be a substance, drug, alcohol, whatever the case may be. It could be a person, parent, boyfriend, girlfriend, sibling, or it could, it's even worse. It can be a content creator, an ego, a misconception of yourself. I can go on and on and on. That if you don't have this relationship built with who you truly are, consciously and intentionally, you will build it with something else. You will build it with something else. And depending on what that something else is, that's where your control is coming from. That is your master. Your puppet master. And sadly, you want to understand something? It could get so bad that you can have a relationship with yourself. You are your own master still. However, that relationship with yourself is so poor, damaged, and weak that you are listening to you. You are connected with yourself, but it is so low energy. It is so connected into the lower emotions: guilt, grief, shame, fear, doubt, regret, disappointment, that you are controlling your life and you are sending it in a downward trajectory because you hate yourself. That's the most simplest way I can put that. So I've provided the context of why you should control your emotions and why this relationship with yourself is important. Before I get into the next steps, are there any questions from the chat? I'm locked in. Now I'm asking this, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm asking the Twitch chat because there are people watching this live, and I'm going to ask questions because this will provide clarity before anybody, watching this live on YouTube may say, hey, I want to learn something before, or something I'm confused about something before we move on. Just ask yourself, no, I keep going. No, we're locked in. No, you popping up. Everything's we good so far. We locked in. All right, good, chat. That's just the intro. We 9 minutes in. We are 9 minutes in. We are 9 minutes in. Okay. Now let's get started. Let's just look at this chart for a second. I'm not going to read chat. I'm just going to lock in. Now we're getting into, well, how do I control my emotions? How do I connect and have this relationship with myself? So first and foremost, let's just understand this first. Let's look at what we are looking at on this diagram, right? This is you. This is you right here. This face. This is you. Now, when you don't have a relationship with yourself, which is conscious or intentional, or you have no emotional control, someone else, right? Someone else. Now, don't mind my drawing. Don't mind my drawing. This is just I can't fucking draw, and I know some people are visual learners, so this makes it more interesting than just me talking. Someone else, anybody, someone that loves you, someone that hates you, anybody. I want you to see this as anybody because control is control no matter who it's coming from. So we're not even worried about who this is. This is just a person up to no good, right? Or up to selfish intention, whatever the case may be. They can choose to send something to you to trigger you. Now, this gets worse the more the person knows you, because they'll know exactly what it is to trigger you, how to trigger you, what to say or what to do to trigger you. And the only reason I'm making this very simple, can't see cursor? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You guys can see my mouse moving, right? Like this thing moving around, right? Right? Is we good? Can we see that? Can't see the mouse. All right, hold on. Let me try to fix that for you. It says capture cursor. Too small. All right, it's there. It's just hard to see. I promise you it's there, though. I promise you it's there. I'm going to just use this. Right? Now, listen. That person, the more that they know you, they will know how to specifically trigger you, how to specifically get under your skin. You're even worse off if a person doesn't even know you and they can trigger you and they know how to get up under your skin. You're just that much of a puppet. You're just that easy to control and manipulate. Your relationship with yourself is that weak. Right? Now, they send this trigger to you. Here's your initial emotion or state of being. You're calm. You're just neutral. They send that trigger. They get a reaction out of you. A reaction. Now, that reaction, based on what this person wants, our star player up here, based on what they want, they are controlling the outcome. That's the important part here, chat. They are controlling the outcome. Because what they can do is they can attack you up here in the trigger point, and the outcome is theirs because you reacted. Because they know how to control you through your emotions, through your pride, through your ego, through your dignity, through your sense of self. This is the bad outcome in reality. If someone can do this, you are a puppet to them. Now, I know this may look confusing, so I'm going to back up a couple things, and I'm going to just, matter of fact, let me put all this on here, because if you're watching it this far, you understand what's going on. They can control the outcome. They can get what they want from you. Now, mind you, this person, the only action they may have ever need to make is maybe they only even open their mouth. Maybe they like literally, I'm telling you, when someone really knows you and the weaker your relationship is with yourself, you may even look back and have a specific situation in mind which you're reflecting on and said, you know what, that person is right. And it's even so sad nowadays and so weak nowadays that people can just make a social media post and achieve this outcome from you. Now, some outcomes are bigger and smaller than others. I'll repeat, some outcomes are bigger and smaller than others. Some outcomes are bigger and smaller than others. Some of them can be, I just want you to be mad. Some of them can be, you can be in an investment situation. You can be about to buy a car and they know you want the car. They hype the car up. They tell you people are looking at the car. They trigger you. This makes you feel some kind of way. You may have already been feeling something. They get you to react and they get the outcome they want. That you buy the car at a high-ass interest rate or over sticker price, so you get the car for a super expensive price because they know how to trigger you and get you to react. It doesn't matter what this outcome is. I just want you to understand that there is an outcome and a person who can control you to get to that outcome if they are more emotionally intelligent than you. Now, chat, are we good? Are we good? Are we good thus far? Is everything making sense so far? All right. Any questions? Please ask questions now. Like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, then let me know. Any questions thus far? How does this relate to the self-awareness? Go more in depth. It'll make sense in the end. At the end, I'll go over self-awareness. I'll go over, things, other topics, right? I'm just focusing in on this. We want to take one step at a time. We want to take one step at a time. Somebody asked a good question. Why is there a reaction? There is a reaction because we have who we think we are. Now, you may not even be aware of this, aware or conscious of this, but it is there. Based on who you think you are and who I am is who I can get you to be. I know that sounds very confusing, but trust me, based on who you think you are and who I am, I can get you to be who I want you to be. Again, this will make sense. This will make sense. This will make sense. I say that to say, why is there a reaction? Because of who you think you are responding to that trigger. Again, this could be ego, pride. It's just a simple emotion of how it makes you feel based on who you think you are. I think I am my mother's son. So if my mother told me, I hate you, you're not my son, I would have an emotional reaction to this based on who I think I am in relation to her. And it's not just based on who I think I am in relation to her. That's the unconscious part. Because I already know and feel that without even thinking about it. And then we don't want to get rid of that because this is our emotions, this is our connections to people, places, things, and whatever the case may be. We just want to be conscious of them and aware of them so that we can get to what? Changing the outcome instead of reacting. I'm just providing context to that. Does that make sense, chat? Does that make sense? If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm just responding in the chat because this may help y'all understand the questions that y'all don't have. We baby stepping through this. We baby stepping through this so far. Just want y'all to follow through. Stay with me. All right. Okay. Can it be positive reactions? Good question. We're not. You notice how on here I don't have the words positive, negative, good, or bad? Because it does not matter. It does not matter. Control is control. In fact, it gets even more sinister and malevolent and malicious when the reaction is initially positive. I make you feel good. I get you dependent on how I make you feel, and then I take it away, and you're like a drug addict without their drug. The control and the puppet strings are that much deeper. It does not matter, good or bad, positive or negative. It does not matter. Control is control. Do y'all understand that? Chat, does that make sense? That was a good question. Is there a positive reaction? It does not matter. Because if someone else is directly controlling that through you, then they have control over you. So if they have it in a positive way or a good way, it does not matter because they can also do it in a negative way. Do we understand that? Does that make sense? What happens if I never react to anything? That is still a reaction. No reaction is a reaction. You're just non-reactive. That's what that is. And action. No action is an action. So hold on, chat. This is just gonna be a full YouTube video. If you join late, if you don't understand where I'm at or confused, this will be on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna move on though. The ads are done and we're back. So now we got into how you are without control, without emotional control, self-awareness, and self-mastery. We can now X that out. It's not what we want to be. We want to X that out. It's not what we want to be. What we want to be is down here. But more than down here, over here. Right? But like I said, baby step. One at a time. Fuck my art. Fuck my drawing. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an artist. I did not go to art school. Right? We want to be over here. Now listen. I'm gonna erase that arrow. I'm going to erase that arrow.
It was
bring it back down here. Bring your attention over here.
Nah. This was kind of forced, but not again, at the same time. Like
we still have our
generate
bad guy, right? We
to
still
take
have our
out
bad person
to eventually take
right?
out. You know what I'm saying
what happens is
like we go to a little time frame.
Now chat. This
may
is
get nothing but
tricky.
Yeah, I understand that.
This might get tricky. So I really have to pay attention here. They send a trigger. They send an action, a word, whatever the action is.
So these were just
a social media post,
the correct order flow, which I should have known.
Something that they call you, whatever they whatever it is, they send an action to you, which they think is going to trigger you, right? We're still in the same part of the process as we were right up top. The difference is now, right? The trigger goes to you. Like I said, this is your original state. Let's just assume you were neutral. You were vibing. You were minding your business. You weren't even worried about that person. You were in a neutral state. You weren't happy. You weren't sad. You just were neutral.
At this point, you have to understand.
They send this trigger to you. They send it to you. Rather than you reacting, you reflect. Are we catching that? Rather than react, we reflect. We reflect.
That's real.
And in turn, when we reflect instead of react, we now can choose how we want to react. Because you see up here, I didn't show this part, right? And I put a half face, half smiling, half upside down, because this original person, based on the trigger that they send, when you react, they get the outcome that they want. It doesn't matter what it is. Happiness, sadness, good or bad, positive, negative. They are controlling the outcome based on what they sent to you and through you. This outcome down over here, happy or sad, good or bad, negative or positive, react or attack, or whatever the case may be, you control it. So it doesn't matter what the outcome is. We're not going to put positive, negative, good or bad attached to it. We just focused on the control of the outcome, right? The control of the outcome. So instead of this person being able to send their outcome to you, or the intended outcome that they want from you, and like I said, this could be anything. This could be a person calling you a name. This could be you buying a car, and the person sees that you really want the car because you like the car. They know deep down inside this car is expensive, but this person likes the car. So I can get them to buy the car if I can get the outcome I want, which is you buying the car at an overpriced price with a high interest rate, or whatever the outcome is. They can get the outcome that they want, no matter what the outcome is, if they know how to control you. But when you reflect, you now control that outcome more than you did before they sent whatever they sent. And then, like I said, there's levels to this outcome. It could be as simple as making you angry. It could be as simple as getting you to buy a car that they want. It could be as simple as you ruining your career. It could be not simple, as big as you ruining your career. It could be as huge as you saying something that you shouldn't have said, which actually bites you in the ass. Talking too much. However, we're past the reaction part. We're into the reflection and controlling the outcome part. We're chat right now. We're not talking about good, bad, positive, or negative, or the outcome itself. We're just talking about control of the outcome, no matter what the trigger is. And in fact, you see, what reflection does is separate the original person's intention from the outcome, giving you back the control, or more control that you would have had if you just reacted.